Patrice Roberts was born on the 11th of April 1986 in the beautiful but modest fishing village of Toco, Trinidad and Tobago. Toco is a place where the ocean sings lullabies, where life is simple, rooted in community, and where every festival is a carnival in its own right. Growing up in such an environment, music wasn't something she chose, it was something she breathed. From a young age, Patrice displayed a voice that turned heads. Family members recall the little girl who would sing with abandon, whether it was church hymns, Calypso tunes, or simply humming along to the radio. For Patrice, singing was not an activity, it was a necessity, a language she spoke more fluently than words. Raised in a close-knit household, she had the love and encouragement of her family, who noticed her gift early on. Her mother, in particular, was a constant source of support, often reminding Patrice that her voice could take her places far beyond their small community. That encouragement became the anchor of Patrice's journey, especially when she began to realize just how much music meant to her. The schoolgirl with a voice. At Toco Composite School, Patrice was more than just another student. She was the girl who could sing. School competitions became her first stage. Talent shows, community events, and any chance to hold a microphone, Patrice seized it. While other children dreamed of becoming teachers, nurses, or lawyers, she dreamed of being heard, of standing in front of crowds and making them feel the way she felt when she sang. Her breakthrough moment as a teenager came when she participated in the Junior Calypso Monarch competition, a rite of passage for many young Caribbean artists. With a voice that carried both innocence and maturity, Patrice's performances captivated judges and audiences alike. She didn't just sing songs, she lived them, her expressions painting pictures of every lyric. Her natural ability earned her respect among older Calypsonians who saw in her a raw diamond ready to be polished. Winning the National Junior Calypso Monarch title in 2001, Patrice showed that she wasn't just a talented girl with a dream, she was a force waiting to erupt. From Calypso to soca, finding her true beat. Calypso was her foundation, but as Patrice grew, her heart leaned toward the energy of soca, a genre that embodied the spirit of carnival, frenzied, festive, and infectious. Soca was Calypso's younger, vibrant cousin, and Patrice knew this was where her voice belonged. By her late teens, Patrice was already becoming a recognizable figure in the soca scene. Her powerful voice and striking stage presence made her stand out in an industry that was, at the time, heavily male-dominated. While male artists like Machel Montano, Bunji Garlin, and Iwer George dominated the stage, Patrice was carving out her own space, bringing a distinctly feminine energy that balanced power with sweetness. Her first big break in soca came with Always Be Around, 2005, a collaboration that caught the ears of soca lovers across the Caribbean. The song's success wasn't just about the melody, it was about Patrice's delivery. She sang with a blend of strength and vulnerability, a combination that made listeners both dance and connect emotionally, linking with Machel Montano and the HD family. If there was one turning point in Patrice Roberts' career, it was her association with Machel Montano, the undisputed king of soca. In 2005, Patrice became the youngest female frontline singer to join Machel Montano's HD family band. This was no small feat. Being part of Montano's camp was like joining the Real Madrid of soca. It meant bigger stages, larger audiences, and a chance to hone her craft alongside the best. Performing with Machel was like stepping into fire and learning to dance with it. The HD family wasn't just about singing. It was about showmanship, energy, and electrifying crowds that numbered in the tens of thousands. Patrice adapted quickly, learning how to command a stage with confidence, how to feed off the crowd's energy, and how to deliver performances that would be remembered long after the carnival dust settled. Her breakout hit with Machel, Band of the Year, 2006, became an anthem, sealing her reputation as more than just Montano's protégé. Patrice was a star in her own right, and the Caribbean music scene was beginning to take serious notice. The Patrice effect. What made Patrice Roberts different from her peers wasn't just her voice, it was her versatility. She could deliver sweet groovy soca that made lovers sway, and in the next breath, she could unleash power soca that made carnival masqueraders jump, wave, and lose themselves in the moment. Songs like Sugar Boy, 2008, Waking Up, 2009, and Always Be Around showcased her ability to balance femininity with ferocity. In an industry where women were often expected to play secondary roles, Patrice demanded the spotlight, not with arrogance, but with undeniable talent. Her collaborations extended beyond Montano, working with other heavyweights in the genre, proving she was no one-hit wonder. Every year, carnival after carnival, Patrice delivered music that became part of the soundtrack of people's lives. And slowly but surely, she began to carve her identity, not just as a female soca artist, but as the leading lady of soca, a title she wears proudly today. Old and Grey, the song that stuck. Every artist has that one song that becomes part of their legacy, the track that fans sing word for word even years later. For Patrice, Old and Grey, 2010, was that song. This was more than a carnival anthem. It was a love story wrapped in soca. The song spoke of commitment, of love lasting through time, of partners sticking together not just for the jump and wave of carnival, but for the long haul, until they were old and grey. The irony? It became one of the most popular wedding songs in the Caribbean. Couples used it to declare their vows. DJs spun it at receptions, and suddenly, Patrice wasn't just a carnival darling. She was the voice of love and devotion. It was the first sign that her music had transcended the confines of the carnival season. Patrice was no longer just a soca artist. She was becoming a Caribbean cultural icon. Sweet Foo Days, a global anthem. Fast forward to 2018. Patrice had been in the business for over a decade. Many artists would plateau by then, content with their catalogue. But Patrice Roberts was just getting started. Then came Sweet Foo Days. This wasn't just a song, it was a phenomenon. Released in time for Trinidad Carnival, it quickly spread like wildfire across the globe. Toronto Carnival, they were singing it. Crop Over in Barbados. It was blasting from every speaker. Notting Hill Carnival in London. Patrice's voice echoed through the streets. The hook was irresistible, the melody intoxicating, and Patrice's vocals, pure fire. It became the anthem of a season, a song that defined an era. For many international fans, Sweet Foo Days was their introduction to Patrice Roberts, and what an introduction it was. The success of the song also proved something important. Patrice had fully stepped into her own as a solo superstar. No longer defined by her collaborations, she was now one of the driving forces of soca in her own right. If Sweet Foo Days was the anthem of joy, then Mind My Business, 2021, was the anthem of self-empowerment. The track had a different energy, sass, confidence, and a message that resonated far beyond the soca community. In an age of social media scrutiny, gossip, and judgment, Patrice's song was a declaration of independence. Talk your talk, but mind my business. It became more than just music. It became a motto. Fans quoted it in their Instagram captions, used it as a mantra against haters, and shouted it at the top of their lungs during live shows. Patrice wasn't just singing anymore. She was preaching empowerment. This song marked a shift in her artistry. Patrice was no longer just a carnival queen. She was a voice for women, for independence, for standing tall in the face of criticism. And the world took notice. By the 2020s, Patrice Roberts wasn't just a Trinidadian soca star. She was a global ambassador for Caribbean music. Her tours took her across North America, Europe, and even into parts of Asia, where soca was just beginning to find footing. She performed on massive stages, from carnival trucks to international festivals, introducing the rhythm of soca to audiences who had never experienced its raw power before. Patrice also became a face of cultural pride. She was celebrated not only for her music, but for the way she carried herself. A proud Trinidadian woman who represented the vibrancy of the Caribbean wherever she went. From BET features to Caribbean diaspora festivals in New York and Miami, Patrice Roberts' name became synonymous with modern soca. She wasn't just following in the footsteps of legends like Alison Hines and Destra Garcia. She was building her own legacy. One song, one carnival, one performance at a time. Love and husband. Behind the feathers, sequins, and endless stages, Patrice's heart found love with Ricardo Drew, the Antiguan soca star known for his hit Vagabond. Ricardo wasn't just her colleague in the soca scene. He was her soulmate. The two were inseparable, often performing together, sharing stages, and supporting each other's careers. Fans adored them as one of soca's power couples, representing unity across Caribbean islands. But in December 2023, tragedy struck when Ricardo Drew passed away unexpectedly at the age of 38. His sudden death shocked the soca world, leaving fans mourning and Patrice heartbroken. She had lost not just a partner, but a best friend and a co-pilot in her journey. Through her grief, Patrice showed resilience. She honored Ricardo's memory on stage, often dedicating performances to him and ensuring that his music and legacy lived on. For fans, watching her pursue through her grief, Patrice showed resilience. She honored Ricardo's memory on stage, often dedicating performances to him and ensuring that his music and legacy lived on. For fans, watching her persevere was both heartbreaking and inspiring, a reminder that behind the carnival queen is a woman of immense strength, family, and motherhood. Beyond the stage, Patrice's most cherished role is that of a mother. She has a daughter who she often calls her greatest blessing and motivation. Motherhood brought a softer dimension to Patrice, grounding her even as her career soared to new heights. Balancing carnival tours, recording sessions, and motherhood is no easy feat, but Patrice has managed to create a balance that works for her. In interviews, she often speaks about how her daughter gives her purpose, reminding her why she pushes so hard in her career. Her fans see her not just as a performer, but as a woman juggling the same responsibilities many of them face: career, family, loss, and resilience. It's this relatability that makes Patrice Roberts more than just an artist. She's an inspiration. Please subscribe for part 2 about her fashion and more.